One of the things I did on my Weta that has really stiffened up the rig, taken out a lot of the play and then the funny noises it used to make, is some 2-inch duct tape wrapped around the Aka ends, one at the very end, one at the point where it would actually fit into the end. I like Gorilla Tape as a brand because you can get it off. It doesn't leave residue when you pull it off, as some of the cheaper brands are wont to do. Don't worry about taking up too much space and not being able to get the Akas into the hole openings. If you simply use one wind, no overlap, but one wind, and you're careful to get everything nice and square, they still slide in easily. If you're still having a little bit of trouble, put a coat of 303 aerospace protectant both on the tape and into the hole openings, and they'll slip in like butter. But you will take up enough of that extra slop that you will notice an immediate difference in the tightness and rigidity of your rig. Another thing I found tremendously helpful, and which also cut down on not being able to get my rig tight enough or having it loosen on the water, along with bent adjusters and side shrouds, that involves flipping the side shroud adjuster top to bottom. As supplied by Weta, the spring-loaded clip is on the bottom, and then the pin where your thimble is connected is somewhere along the adjuster. I've flipped that. I now have 3 pins. You will have to add one, but I'm connected down here. This is my adjustment pin, and now the spring-loaded pin is actually at the top. And all it is there for now is to keep the adjuster in line with the side shroud. I don't need any tape. I don't have to fool with any of that stuff, but it will stay in line. It will not flip around and get behind anything or catch down here on the AMA. So consider flipping the adjuster and then adding a new pin for your adjustment portion. In order to keep dust, dirt, whatever out of the Aka bores on the hull, I decided to make some plugs to use when transporting it or traveling or storing for long term. Pool noodles, 2-inch foam. I had to shim them a little bit with some duct tape. Got another piece of foam here, inserted about that far with a loop of rope knotted on the far end and goop so it can't come out. These do not have to be tight. You're working with sort of a vacuum system, just as long as they seal this area. They will not come out on their own. You'll have to pull them out. Doesn't take much effort. I think it's a worthwhile addition for any boat that gets transported or stored outdoors. Here's a tip that may save you some extra rope, bungees, whatever you use to secure your tramps with. Really all you need is already on board the boat. You got your Cunningham and you got your Mainsheet. And if you'll simply peg those together and tighten down one and or the other, that'll hold your tramps in place when you're transporting the boat. I'd still fasten the hull down obviously to the trailer, but as far as keeping the tramps in place, use what's on the boat and save yourself some time and trouble. The Weta comes standard with a 5-to-1 Mainsheet block. I removed one of the pulleys on mine and took it to a 4-to-1. Now what this does for me, it allows me to move the sail with less movement of the sheet. If you sail in high, gusty or shifty winds, it's very important. It gives you a lot more control over the boat. The only downside is that it does increase the sheet load by a noticeable amount. However, if you're reasonably physically fit, not infirm, not extremely young or extremely old, this is going to help you a lot. This may be the single best improvement I made to the boat. Again, yes, it does increase the sheet loads. You're going to have to pull harder and it's going to pull harder on you, but you will be able to react to whatever happens on the water just that much faster. Sails with adjustable clew plates have sort of been known as the poor man's way to effectively change whether you're pulling on the leech or the foot of the sail. The Weta, like a lot of boats, has fixed jib lead blocks, so you need these adjustments. The problem on the Weta is they're too far forward. you cannot, under any circumstances, even down here, you cannot pull on the foot. You're always going to be pulling more on the leech. I'll give you an example. This is where I would be with the standard Weta block, and I'm pulling position about 40% up the luff. That's nowhere close to even 1/2 angle of the clue. I can't even get an equal leech and foot pull. So, and that's even if I move all the way down here. So I moved my jib lead blocks back 3.5 inches. And now, in the second position, I'm pulling 1/2 angle of the clue. I've got an even pull on the leech and the foot. If I want to pull more on the leech, I can come up one. If I want to pull more on the foot, and I usually do to keep the top of the jib twisted off, I don't want that subtle backwinding of the main that can tend to stall it. So I can come down here, and I'll actually be a little more on the foot. I can come down even lower, and I'll be at 90 degrees to the luff, so I can get a lot of pull on the foot. Anyway, that's just a little something I did that I think made the boat a lot better. Others may disagree, but I won't go back. Okay, so what you've got here is a piece of 1.5-inch round galvanized fence pipe, a couple of J-hooks. There's actually 2 nuts here. There's a nylon lock nut that's just run up just to the bottom of the threads on the J-hook. That's to hold the wing nut captive. The whole assembly probably costs less than $10. Okay, so in use, you hang the J-hooks on the road trailer at either side, and then as you run the wing nut up, you bring this galvanized pipe upwards until it contacts the bottom of the aluminum dolly channel, and with just another turn or two, it completely supports the dolly channel and the weight of the boat and transfers it back to the road trailer. Again, it just protects the trailer from any possible damage on long trips or rough roads and highways. Simple to use. It goes on and off in 30 seconds. Costs $10 to make. It's a worthwhile addition, I think.